Those somber sounds filled Westside Park in Champaign today while officers remembered some of their own who stood by their sides in the scariest of times. Good evening. I'm Brandon Morano in for Jennifer.
And I'm Jessica Coons. As Police Week wraps up across the nation, departments are taking a moment to recognize those they've lost in the line of duty. Today in Champaign, they recognized 3 names: Thomas Dodsworth, Robert Tatman, and Chris Oberheim. Champaign's Police Chief Timothy Tyler says it was powerful looking out and seeing so many community members during the ceremony. He wants people to know at the end of the day, officers want to go home to their family members too.
And we put on this uniform, and we only put on this uniform to make sure our neighbors are safe. And it's pretty difficult sometimes. And sometimes we are afraid, but to have everyone come out and support us, it really re-energizes us to go out there, put on a badge, and get back to work to protect our neighbors and our families.
He says today was emotional for a whole other reason as well. You'll hear more of his story tonight at 10. We continue our coverage on the police memorial with WCIA3's Amanda Brennan. She's live at Westside Park right now. And Amanda, it was on this day 2 years ago Chris Oberheim was shot and killed in the line of duty.
And it's a day his wife, his kids, his siblings, his parents are never going to forget. I talked to his family members today about the legacy he's leaving behind.
It's one of those days where you remember every little detail of it. You remember driving over to Champaign just like we did this morning.
May 19th, 2021.
A devastating call. We really didn't know what the seriousness of the situation was.
But Matt Oberheim, Chris Oberheim's younger brother, quickly learned what had happened.
Both officers were struck by gunfire, which fatally wounded Officer Oberheim.
And from that moment, his loved ones' lives changed forever.
Brings back a lot of memories that are really still very raw.
Time hasn't healed the wounds, even years later.
2 years ago, I got a phone call from Amber at about 4:20 in the morning, and oddly enough, I woke up this morning at 4:20. That was kind of strange, and just in my head, laying there for a half an hour, 45 minutes, just kind of went over the events that happened that day and how clear everything still is.
That's Kim Dobson. Chris was his son-in-law.
Always helping him with handiwork around the house all the time. He wasn't the greatest mechanic in the world. He'd probably hate me for saying that, but it's true.
His brother is remembering the happy memories too.
It was a blast to be around, a lot of fun.
He says having community events like Champaign's annual police memorial at Westside Park helps keep his legacy alive.
He made the ultimate sacrifice serving his community, and so for that we're forever grateful, and certainly we'll never forget.
And it really was such a powerful morning out here today. I want to show you around. Behind me here is the police car dedicated to Officer Oberheim. Over here is where rows of family members sat watching the memorial. And over here in Church Street, 2 fire trucks holding the American flag. Reporting live in Champaign, I'm Amanda Brennan, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much. Now, that wasn't the only memorial ceremony today. At the Champaign County Courthouse, officers and deputies from different agencies took a moment to remember many others who have served.
Retired Judge Jeffrey Ford was one of those speakers, emphasizing how important trust is between the community and police. He says a trust helps keep everyone safe, and one retired sheriff agrees. Dave Madigan says days like today help keep the memory of fallen officers alive.
Pay respect to the people that are protecting our citizens, and now that I'm retired myself, so I really appreciate it.
At that ceremony, Champaign County Chief Deputy Shannon Barrett recognized 7 officers from across the county who've lost their lives. She says across the country so far this year, 42 officers have been killed in the line of duty, 2 of those with the Chicago Police Department. Champaign County Sheriff Dustin Harmon helped organize that memorial in front of the courthouse today. He says he was proud of the number of people there supporting law enforcement, and says the most important thing to remember is they have the backs of the community members, the same way the community had their backs today.
You know, it's kind of a sobering experience. It really reminds us that there is a danger to the job that we do every day in the name of protecting our community. And I think the least we can do is get together at least once a year and kind of remember those who have made that sacrifice for all of us.
He says if you see an officer, don't be afraid to go up and say hi. That friendly conversation helps connect all of us even more.